The Midnight Knocking. It was a Tuesday night, just past 11 p.m., when I heard the first knock. Not a loud bang, but a steady, rhythmic tapping on my front door. I live in a quiet suburb of Ohio, the kind of place where nothing happens after dark. At least, that's what I told myself for 5 years. But that night, the air in my house felt heavy, like the atmosphere before a massive thunderstorm. I checked my doorbell camera on my phone. The screen was just static. I figured it was just a glitch, probably some neighborhood kids playing a prank. I was wrong. I was so incredibly wrong. I walked to the hallway, my floorboards creaking under my weight. I looked through the peephole. Standing on my porch were 2 children. A boy and a girl, maybe 10 years old, wearing oversized gray hoodies. They were looking down at their feet, standing perfectly still. "Can I help you?" I asked through the door. The boy spoke first. His voice was monotone. No emotion, no inflection. He said, "We are cold. Please, let us in to use your phone. Our parents will be here soon." Every instinct in my body screamed at me to stay back. "I can't let you in," I replied, my voice shaking. "But I can call someone for you. What's the number?" That's when they both looked up. Their eyes. They didn't have iris or pupils. They were just solid, bottomless pits of obsidian black. My stomach did a somersault. I backed away from the door, my breath hitching in my throat. My heart was hammering so hard, I thought it would crack a rib. I ran to the kitchen to grab my phone, but as I passed the window, I saw them. They weren't at the front door anymore. They were standing in my backyard, staring directly into the kitchen window. There is no way they could have moved that fast. The backyard is fenced in with a 6-foot gate. It was locked. I grabbed a kitchen knife, my hands trembling so much I almost dropped it. A knife against whatever they were. I dialed 911. Silence. No dial tone, no signal, just a low, vibrating hum that seemed to be coming from the floorboards themselves. Then, I heard a sound that made my skin crawl. It was the sound of my back door deadbolt sliding open. I live alone. I know I locked that door. I checked it 3 times before I went to bed. I stood in the dark kitchen, the only light coming from the digital clock on the oven. 12 a.m. I heard the floorboards in the mudroom groan. Step, step, step. They were inside. I ducked into the pantry, pulling the slatted door shut and holding my breath. My lungs were burning, but I didn't dare make a sound. Through the slats, I saw them enter the kitchen. They didn't walk like children. They moved with a strange, jerky fluidity, like puppets on invisible strings. The girl stopped right in front of the pantry door. I could see her black eyes through the gaps. She didn't look at me. She looked through me. She whispered, "We know you are in there. We just want to be invited." That's the rule, isn't it? They can't hurt you unless you invite them. But they were already inside. How were they already inside? Suddenly, the power cut out. Total darkness. The hum in the house grew louder, vibrating in my teeth. I felt a cold hand, impossibly cold, touch my ankle through the bottom of the pantry door. I screamed and kicked out, throwing the door open and sprinting for the front of the house. I didn't look back. I fumbled with the locks on the front door, my fingers feeling like lead. I threw it open and ran into the middle of the street. I stood there, under the yellow glow of the street lamp, gasping for air. I looked back at my house. All the lights were back on. The children were standing in the upstairs window, my bedroom window. They were waving. Not a friendly wave, but a slow, mechanical side-to-side motion. And then, the lights went out again. I spent the rest of the night in my car at a 24-hour diner. When the sun came up, I went back with 2 police officers. The house was perfectly normal. No signs of forced entry. The back door was locked. The officers looked at me like I was losing my mind. But when I went into the kitchen to make a coffee, I saw it. On the pantry door, right where I had been hiding. 2 small black handprints scorched into the white paint. Not mud, not dirt. The wood was charred, as if someone had touched it with a branding iron. I sold that house a month later. I moved to an apartment on the 12th floor. I thought I was safe. But last night, around 11 p.m., I heard it. A steady, rhythmic tapping on my door. There is no doorbell camera this time. And the tapping, it's moving toward the window. Whatever you do, if you hear a knock at an hour when no one should be visiting, do not look through the peephole. Because some guests never intend to leave.